Okay. Hey, everyone. So I will introduce you the if people search system. Actually, yesterday when I present this system, demo this system to some of you, and people ask me why call this name called if. That's just because there's two characters in my name. And I also think that's because I can fly. So that's how it means. So when I got the challenge data, I asked myself actually 4 fundamental questions when designing this system. The first one is what do users want from the search system? How we can satisfy their information need? And yeah, the first one actually is the most important one that most of the system designer would ask in the very first beginning. And I will talk more about these questions later. And the second one is how to organize and rank. As some of you have already asked, what's the ranking algorithm should look like when we actually rank the people. And the third question I asked myself is how can touch gestures can change the search? This is a big question. And since at the very first beginning, I want to explore this question, so I decided to put all the development on the iPad so I can utilize their touch screen to actually implement the whole search system. And the third one is how to utilize users' feedback. Basically, we have explicit feedback and implicit feedback. How we can actually gather those users' feedback, and we provide some recommendation or customization. So based on these 4 questions, it's further lead to the design assumptions. My first design assumption is the user just type the keywords and then search and then can find a list of relevant people. I mean, the model is quite simple. And the second one is once users find one relevant people, they can find a group of relevant people by navigating through the networks. Here, it's mainly the co-author network. So this may lead to the question how we rank the the search result. It's basically we may not put all the people into the all the relevant people into the search result, but instead we may want to diversify the search result a little bit. So we can provide different entries into different co-author networkers. So people can find different relevant people from different small networkers. So here's the design assumption. And based on this design assumption, I mainly actually developed 3 features of the if search system. The first one is ranking, and then the second one is I call it swipe search. And the third one is social network navigation. For the first one, it's the ranking. The question when we talk about ranking is how we can find relevant people easily. The whole ranking should actually based on people's properties that we can gather from the whole data sets. And as I just mentioned, we should also we should also diversify the search results so users can find different entries into search results through the relevant networks. And here is the data structure that I made it based on all the data we have here. As you can see, it's a little complex and complicated to understand at the very first beginning. But after I analyze this structure, we can actually identify 3 main properties. The first one is text property, like users' research interests and their publication title and things like that. And the second one is the co-author network. The third one is the reputation based on their publication. As mentioned, we actually have the readers and their readers' profile for each publication. So based on that, we can calculate some reputation So therefore, the whole ranking algorithm should combine these three properties. I call it the text relevance, network reputation, and publication reputation. So this is the first features that I integrate into the system. And the second one, since we're trying to explore how the touch gestures can actually change the search, so I developed a second feature called swipe search. The argument here is current search result entries are really static and lack of interaction. Here is an example from Google. As we can search the HCIR in the Google, you can see there is a list of search results, but we can only click on the hyperlink in the title. So I just asked, could we actually also touch all the words and concepts in the search result descriptions, or some other entries like here, yeah, the title or the descriptions. Besides, the one pain point when the user actually search on the iPad is that the keyboard input is really slow and painful. When the user type into the first words, if you want the user actually type more, then they have to open their keyboard and then start typing one by one. That's really a painful process. So I asked the question, could we make all the text in the search result page touchable or swipeable? So just like this sensitive plant, when you touch it, it will just give you some response. Or we can also like some game, like the Fruit Ninja. Can we make the search, joyful, easy to play, so the user can actually add the query by adding the words into a query or remove the query by just swipe. So here is the design that I made. It's like, first of all, the user can type into keywords, and when they turn on the swipe search on the top right, they can find the concept and just swipe it, and then it will go into the search query, and then you can just make all, just like add more words into there. It's just function like filters, or it's like query reformulation. So let me demo the last two features I mentioned here. Oh, it looks too big. Yeah. So first of all, the user can, for example, search HCI here. And based on the search result, they can scroll into find their interesting entries, search results, and then they can start to, if they found any interesting conference here, for example, they could just scroll into it, so to add into their query. So after they change their queries, they just click search, and then it will be filtered to their search result based on the new query they entered. So how this swipe search can actually change the user's search behavior? That's a question, and I don't know yet. But basically, I think swipe search can encourage the user to use longer queries, and they can use those swipe search to actually filter the search results. And the second one is just as they can support result filtering and query reformulation. The third feature in this if people search system is the network navigation. As I just mentioned in the system design part, I would like once the user found one relevant people, they could find the relevant people to the current people, and a group of the relevant people can be found by just navigating through the network. So as you can see here, once we found one person that's relevant, we just click on it. It will show the detail, so what the data we have for this person. And meanwhile, we can just swipe it away if we don't like it. And after swipe away, you can find on the right side, there is some, you may also interested in these peoples. So we can find a group of people that are relevant to the current entries, that current people that we selected here. And we can further explore the network by clicking one of them. Say, let me click the David here. So we can look into the David's detail. And meanwhile, after we come back here, because we tap on the David, so actually we dig deeper into the network, and we have more people that's relevant to David. So this is the three main features in the if people search system. And the whole system's architecture is just we use the Amazon EC2 as our backend and iPad as the front end. And we design the APIs to make them communicate with each other. So finally, let me demo a search task that we asked to demo. It's a user experience product designer. So we can simply type the keywords into the system and then start search. Then we can find some people like mobile user experience. So we click on that. Then we can find the people that are actually relevant to their user experience designer query. And we can find a list of these people that are relevant, and we can further dig into it and further actually get more people around here. So if the people find the entries that is not relevant, then just move down to the next entries, and they can just start exploring. So basically, in this application, in this whole system, we have tried to find the relevant people that with least efforts find the relevant people easily. And we also have the swipe search and multi-touch functions. Meanwhile, we also have the network navigation. I mean, it's easy to use and have an intuitive design. For the future work, I think the headache is almost the ranking. So I would like to improve the ranking. I may try some basic search. Meanwhile, I would like to try something like, currently now I can only, when the swipe search is add the current words into the query. So the question is, can we add the whole concept into query? Or could we use the swipe search to not only add the keywords, but we can also remove the keywords from the current query? That's become something like the query editor, but it's really easy to use. Just swipe it, just like we play the Flute Ninja. We just enjoying the whole process when we're doing the search. And the third one that I would like to do is improve the network navigation. As I just showed, when you click the one entries, it's actually go into deeper level, but without give the option to go back into the last level. So maybe in the future, I can just improve the network navigation, just like when we're using the Finder application on the MacBook. It can have a multiple hierarchy level. So we use the click the first one, and it shows the second one, and click the second one shows third one, and it can go back. And besides, the last one is we should also have some search history and result saving. I actually put icons on the top right. This is actually the search history, but I haven't got a chance to actually implement this one. So, any questions?